Breaking news! News has been released in the NFL, and the Falcons could benefit from it. I'll give you all the details firsthand, but first make sure to hit the like button and comment below. Go Falcons! Okay, let's get started. Myles Garrett, one of the best edge rushers in the league, just shook up the NFL by requesting a trade from the Cleveland Browns. Yes, you heard that right. Myles Garrett wants out, citing his desire to compete for a Super Bowl as the main reason. The Browns, in turn, have stated that they have no intention of trading him. But with Garrett locked in, Cleveland may find itself with no choice but to explore options. So what does this mean for the Falcons? Well, according to Bleacher Report insider James Palmer, Atlanta could be a perfect landing spot. But there's a catch. The Falcons would need to find a way to part ways with Kirk Cousins to better leverage Michael Penix Jr.'s rookie contract. Palmer believes if Atlanta can do that and bring in Garrett, it would completely transform the team. They have been embarrassingly bad at getting after the quarterback over the last number of years, Palmer said. Can you find a way to move on from Kirk and then change the money around? Having the ability to add Myles Garrett to that defense, I think, exponentially changes Atlanta and changes the perception of Atlanta in 2025 hands down. He's not wrong. The Falcons haven't ranked in the top 10 in sacks since 2004, and this past season they recorded only 31 sacks, the second fewest in the entire league. It's no secret that general manager Terry Fontenot, head coach Raheem Morris, and newly hired defensive coordinator Jeff Ulbrich are all focused on improving the pass rush. You never say it's not going to be an off-season priority, just for the philosophy of the organization that starts up front, Morris said. You can be number one in sacks or last. That's still going to be a priority. If you can get after the quarterback, you can play really good defense, and that's always going to be a priority for us. Fontenot acknowledged that while the team has some pressure players, there's a clear need to develop internally and add more pieces. Ulbrich echoed this sentiment during his recent press conference. There's no great defense that's ever lived in this league that didn't affect the quarterback, Ulbrich said. You've got to affect the quarterback in two ways. Either we affect him physically, get him off the spot, sack him, hit him, or we affect him from the standpoint of from a coverage perspective and try to confuse him. You can't thrive in this league from a defensive perspective without a good pass rush. The Falcons have already shown they're willing to make moves to bolster the defense. Palmer mentioned that Atlanta was aggressive at the trade deadline, making frantic calls to other teams in search of pass rush help. While they didn't land anyone mid-season, that pursuit could become relevant now that Garrett is potentially on the move. The reason I bring it up is just remember, they've been aggressive, Palmer said. And those are little things you always kind of try to remember when you think about these type of conversations. Of course, acquiring Garrett won't come cheap. Both Palmer and the Athletic's Diana Rossini believe any trade package for Garrett would likely include a first-round draft pick and a combination of day 2 picks or a player. Atlanta currently holds the 15th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, which could be a valuable bargaining chip. Garrett, who's been an All-Pro for 5 consecutive years and was the NFL Defensive Player of the Year last season, recorded 14 sacks and a league-high 22 tackles for loss in 2024. At 29 years old, he's still at the top of his game and would be a game-changer for Atlanta's defense. But there's one major obstacle: salary cap space. Garrett carries a $19.7 million and $20.4 million cap hit in 2025 and 2026, respectively. The Falcons currently rank 27th in the league in salary cap space, with a negative $11 million, according to Over the Cap. They also have just 5 draft picks, with only 2 in the top 100. So while the adjustment makes sense and the need is undeniable, the financial and draft capital challenges make this a complex situation. Still, if there's one thing we know about Fontenot and this front office, it's that they're not afraid to make bold moves. Now, I want to hear from you, Falcons fans. What do you think about the possibility of adding Myles Garrett to the roster? Do you think the front office can find a way to make it work? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. All right, let's get into it. The NFL offseason is heating up, and there's a big question swirling around. Could New York Jets star cornerback DJ Reed reunite with his former coach Jeff Ulbrich right here in Atlanta? Let me break it down for you. As you know, the Falcons recently brought in Jeff Ulbrich as our new defensive coordinator, and he's wasting no time laying out his vision for the defense. With Ulbrich at the helm, there's already speculation about which players might fit into his scheme, and DJ Reed's name is at the top of the list. The 28-year-old cornerback is set to hit free agency, and many experts consider him one of the best available at his position. The Athletic's Josh Kendall even ranked Reed as the second-best player the Falcons should target this offseason. Why? Well, Reed has proven himself to be a versatile and reliable defender, capable of excelling in both man and in zone coverage schemes. Over the last 5 seasons, he's notched 6 interceptions and consistently locked down some of the league's top receivers. That's the kind of playmaker any team would love to have in their secondary. Kendall pointed out the clear connection between Reed and Ulbrich, who coached him during their time together with the Jets. That familiarity could make Atlanta an attractive destination for Reed, assuming the Falcons can navigate their cap challenges and make a competitive offer. Now, let's talk about those cap challenges. The Falcons aren't exactly swimming in cap space, which could complicate things. But as we've seen before, when this front office wants a player, they find creative ways to make it happen. If Reed were to join the team, it would undoubtedly bolster a secondary that's shown promise but still needs more consistency and star power. Reed's ability to adapt to different schemes would be a perfect fit for what Ulbrich described as a scheme-heavy defensive approach. Ulbrich emphasized the importance of keeping quarterbacks guessing, whether through physical pressure up front or smart coverage in the backfield. Adding a player like Reed could be a game-changer in achieving that goal. Of course, landing a top free agent like Reed won't be easy. There will be competition from other teams, and the Falcons will need to present a compelling case to bring him to Atlanta. But the opportunity to reunite with Ulbrich and be part of a defense on the rise might just be enough to sway him. So, what do you think, Falcons fans? Should Atlanta make a strong push to sign DJ Reed? Do you believe his connection with Jeff Ulbrich gives us an edge in the race for his signature? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. All right, let's get right into it. The Atlanta Falcons are facing one of their most critical off-seasons in recent years. After another season without a playoff appearance, changes are inevitable and improvements are absolutely necessary if this team wants to break its long playoff drought in 2025. But here's the thing. It's not just about bringing in new talent. There are key players and leaders on this roster who need to step up their game to help this team reach its full potential. Let's start with head coach Raheem Morris. Look, it wasn't a shock that the Falcons decided to keep Morris around despite a rough season. This organization has a history of showing patience with its head coaches, but Morris knows the pressure is on, and to his credit, he's already identified areas where he can improve. That's what you want from a leader: accountability and a willingness to grow. Late game adjustments and defensive management have been a thorn in the Falcons' side, and Morris has to fix that if this team wants a shot at the postseason. Now, speaking of growth, we have to talk about rookie quarterback Michael Penix Jr. In just 3 starts, Penix showed flashes of being the franchise quarterback the Falcons have been searching for. Those game-tying drives against the Commanders and Panthers? Pure grit. But let's be real, there's room for improvement. Penix needs more reps and a full offseason to get on the same page with his teammates. The Falcons made a mistake by not making the switch from Kirk Cousins earlier, which left Penix playing catch-up. That's on the coaching staff, but it's something that can be corrected moving forward. Another player who needs to step up is Kyle Pitts. Falcons fans have been waiting for Pitts to become the game-changer he was drafted to be. We've seen glimpses of his potential, like that clutch 4th down play to tie the game. But let's not forget the moment when he caused Penix's first career interception. Pitts needs to bring more consistent effort, play through the whistle, and show the energy that can elevate this offense to an elite level. If he can do that, combined with the already explosive talents of Bijan Robinson, Drake London, and Darnell Mooney, this offense could carry the team regardless of defensive struggles. But here's the big question. Can General Manager Terry Fontenot get it right this offseason? Falcons fans have every reason to be skeptical. Fontenot's track record with draft picks and signings hasn't exactly inspired confidence. For years in, and the pass rush is still a major weakness. The front office has to get this right. They might have stumbled into finding a franchise quarterback in Penix, but fixing the defense requires more than just luck. It's time for Fontenot to prove he can build a complete team. So, what does all this mean for the 2025 season? If Morris can show growth in his coaching, if Penix takes that next step, and if Pitts finally becomes the player we all know he can be, the Falcons have a real shot at making the playoffs. But if these pieces don't fall into place, changes will have to be made. Do you believe Morris, Penix, and Pitts can step up and lead us back to the playoffs? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more updates. Go Falcons!